What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, I watched my Chicago brother Isiah Thomas, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game, number 2 behind Irvin Magic Johnson. Isiah Thomas was on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor. And after watching that, I believe the world owes Zeke Thomas an apology, right? Isiah Thomas is villainized beyond measure for his feud with Michael Jeffrey Jordan, right? And the world idolizes Michael Jeffrey Jordan. They recognize him universally as the GOAT. A lot of people do, the greatest of all time in the sport of basketball. His name is eternalized. I mean, his name will live on forever because of that Jordan brand shoe. I mean, it's still selling tremendously, and these kids never even watched Michael Jordan play, right? He's responsible for globalizing the game, and everything he did on the court, it speaks for itself. However, man, like people always, when Isiah Thomas discusses certain things that happened with Michael Jordan and how he's often disappointed at the fact that he was excluded off of the Dream Team, and how, he was speaking about in the interview, he was talking about how he didn't appreciate being called an asshole by Michael Jordan and being trashed by Michael Jordan after, the Detroit Pistons did not shake hands with the Chicago Bulls after the Chicago Bulls finally beat him, right? And Michael Jordan was trying to make Isiah seem like such a terrible person and this, that, and the third, and trying to trash Mike. When if you watch that Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan shows Mike was an asshole to everybody around. An asshole universally, and the world makes excuses for Michael Jordan because they love him to the bone gristle. They love him to death and idolize and worship him, right? But Isiah Thomas gave context to why he felt certain ways about what Michael Jordan said, right? For one, he stated, wait a second. When you first came to Chicago, which is Isiah Thomas's hometown, right? I helped to make it okay for you to walk the streets of the west side of Chicago, right? And people was like, Mike would never be on the west side. But from what I'm hearing, Mike used to get his hair cut on the west side back in the day, right? He used to be out in the west, and the United Center is on the west side of Chicago, right? He used to get his hair cut over there near the way. He probably was, moving and shaking a little bit when he first became a Chicago Bull on the west side. And Isiah Thomas was like, look, I made it okay for you to do that by basically telling the individuals around and my family to look out for you. I don't know, a lot of y'all gonna say, because a lot of y'all don't know the city of Chicago like that, and say, well, Mike was a god in the city. Wasn't nobody gonna touch Mike. I'm telling y'all right now, nobody is safe in Chicago, Illinois. Nobody. It's somebody willing to rob anybody here. And it's terrible. I'm not bragging on it. It's horrible, right? But I'm telling y'all right now, it's people willing to touch anybody here, no matter what their status is, what they've done, none of whatever the accolades is. He like, listen, I made it to where my family would look out for you. People that I knew would look out for you and make sure you were in good hands like Allstate at all times, right? Then he says, my little nephew lived with Michael Jordan. And that's when I said, whoa, wait a second. Your nephew lived with Mike? Like, my little nephew lived with Michael Jordan. My sister and Michael Jordan's brother used to be they were good friends. They would talk to each other on the phone. They would hang out together. So when Mike get on the documentary trying to trash me and trashing me after the fact that we didn't shake hands, it's like, whoa, wait a second, fam. Nah, bro, that ain't cool. I don't like that. That ain't all right. Because, Isiah Thomas, I remember for a while he stayed gracious in interviews about Mike, right? I don't think Isiah hate Mike, but Mike calling him an asshole, basically trying to make him seem like a villain all around. Some people were like, what's the matter? What's the big deal? Isiah not a guy that want to be looked at like a villain for real. But people want to make him seem like such a bad guy. It's like, yo, look at this shit what Mike was doing. Look how he was like, his relationship with his teammates and all of that. And people like, that's what winning takes. And I'll call bullshit on that every single time because I saw Tim Duncan, right, be a stoic individual and go to work on dudes. Go to work on fools and get chips. I saw Magic Johnson win five chips with a damn smile and grin on his face all the way around all the time not shitting on teammates, not cussing them out, not punching teammates, and all that crazy reckless stuff. All of that being such a being so cold to your teammates, being a hardened asshole to teammates. This does not mean it's gonna make you a winner. You don't have to be like that to be a winner. You know, some guys are so aloof and so they alienate their team. They alienate themselves from their teammates because they're not people. They're not a people person like Michael Jeffrey Jordan and even the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. He emulated that same thing from Mike, and that's not always necessary to win. But nonetheless, man, like it's like Isiah always is trashed and clowned out and all this and all of that. And people just take everything that Michael Jordan says is, oh, he was jealous of Mike because Mike took the city from him. And Isiah talked about the fact that, when he came back home and playing the Bulls, his family had Chicago Bulls jerseys on, right? And he did wanted to be a guy that played for the Bulls. But I believe he was gracious about what he did in Detroit, how Detroit embraced him, right? How Detroit, helped put Detroit on the map as far as a franchise, how he helped them win back-to-back chips. I think he was more than satisfied and happy about what he did. A small market team like Detroit, a small market compared to New York, LA, Chicago. He like, look, we won, they won chips. That's magnificent, right? But he like, bro, like, look at all this, dude try to clown everybody out and not clown everybody. Try to make Isiah seem like he's such a villainous person, and everybody taking and run with it. Whatever Michael Jordan say, they take it and run with it. Isiah's such an asshole. He's a bad person. Well, I watched Doug Gottlieb get on TV on that YouTube on his YouTube channel and talk about how bad of a person Isiah Thomas is. And Isiah had a good point. For all the stuff that Jerry Krause, all the issues he may have had with Jerry Krause, the way Mike was talking to Jerry and Scottie Pippen was talking to Jerry Krause, that's wild as fuck. To talk to the owner like that. That's wild. That's crazy. Right? Then Jerry Krause has transitioned. He's no longer here on this earth. Jerry Krause's family gonna be watching that, and they watching Mike clown and trash Jerry. Like, come on, bro. Like that's classless to me. And I was like, wait, I ain't even think about it from that. I ain't like when they was doing. I'm like, yo, that's kind of wild for them to talk to him like that. It's kind of crazy. Regardless if you like Jerry or not, or you like certain things he did, it's crazy for them to be talking to him like that, for real. But I ain't even think about the fact that, hold on, the man is deceased now. His family gonna see this. Like, that's just crazy for them to be talking about him like that. But it's like, Mike trying to trash Isiah and everybody just taking it and run with it so much that I watch people in our home city, my home city of Chicago, trash Isiah and talk about Isiah like he wasn't shit. To be all up under Michael Jordan and kiss Mike's ass. Now, granted, Mike, again, what he did for the Chicago Bulls team, winning 6 chips, phenomenal. Spectacular, right? But to shit on Isiah, a dude that came, the best player to ever come out of Chicago, Illinois, without question, right? Come from our city, a philanthropic dude that come out here and talk about gun violence. They come out here and lend his voice to social issues. They come out here, we'll go on the south side. I remember on ESPN First Take, on the south side of Chicago at the Southside YMCA, talking to the kids about gang violence, trying to deter it, using his voice and his platform to try to prevent all the senseless killers in Chicago, to talk about, to try to lend his voice to all the issues that's affecting the black community. Isiah Thomas did that and does that. Michael Jordan don't do none of that. Michael Jordan is a fence straddler to the core. The brother gave money to the police department when he was giving money to Black Lives Matter because he didn't want to ruffle any feathers. Brother, how much money do the police department need? Yes, we need police. I'm all for policing. But how much money do they need? Mike was scared to stand on 10 toes down and be a goon and stand for black folks in that moment, and he wanted to appear to be neutral, so he gave money to the police department. Mike don't talk about these social issues. What Mike say about the when kids was dying over the Jordan shoe? He in here. What Mike say? He was it Republic? What did he say about the shoe? Basically, like, in so many words, like, he ain't just making shoes for like just poor folks in the community, so on and so forth. Like, he ain't never talk about none of the things that the killers around in the shoes. He never came and talked about anything, lending his voice to anything dealing with black folks. Any of the issues that are affecting and ailing the black community, he never did. But Zeke did, right? And I saw people in Chicago trash Zeke, like he wasn't one of our own, like he from not from here, like he from Detroit. And again, Detroit gonna love that brother and always embrace him because what he did for their city. And he was repping Detroit. He was repping the city of Detroit, representing them well from how he played and everything, right? But as a Chicago brother to the bone, Gristle, even when he told Michael Jordan, you wear the Chicago on your chest, but I'm gonna show you how Chicago play for real, right? And I'm like, yo, I don't, nah, bro. Like, I don't get how people, I don't like how people made Isiah Thomas the villain in all these stories. Like, from all the individuals I've heard in the NBA, none of these players have a bad word to say about Zeke. From Kevin Garnett to Quentin Richardson to any of the players he's coached, to Darius Miles. None of these people have a bad word to say about Zeke. They speak highly of Zeke and love him all the way around. You know, so I'm like, how is it people in Chicago trashing Zeke, clowning him because y'all love Mike that bad? Again, I get what he was doing the damn thing for our city in the sports, on the sports side, doing his thing, right? Made our city relevant in sports, in basketball, I would say, right? And no disrespect to the predecessors that came in Chicago, the previous Chicago Bulls era, but yeah, he made our city relevant in the sport of professional basketball. But you cannot dismiss Zeke and clown Zeke out. Like, look at what Zeke was doing, man. A little guard out there, like, I mean, phenomenal. Like, again, the small market team he beat, Mike, Larry Bird, he beat Larry Bird and the Celtics, and Magic Johnson, them in their prime, he beat them. He beat all of them in a playoff run. That's spectacular, man. That's dope, man. Like, man, and I don't like how he gets clowned out because he made great points. Like, hold on, man. Dude trying to call me this and trash me. And look at all of the relationship we had. I had a good rapport with the brother. I helped the brother become ingratiated to the city of Chicago, my hometown. You know, like, what the hell, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, and as weak, man, because they'll say, oh, Isiah wasn't, you know, he was a sore loser. He didn't shake hands. He didn't shake hands when he walked off the court. I can challenge y'all and say Michael Jordan is the biggest sore loser of them all because his team, his franchise that he's the general manager of, the Charlotte Hornets, have been trash since he took over, right? And when his friend, Charles Barkley, whose job is to critique NBA basketball all across the board, when Charles Barkley got on there and said Mike needs to surround himself with some better people because they struggling, they not a good team, they're a terrible team. Michael Jordan don't want to talk to. He ain't talked to Charles in over 10 years because of that. Because he said the team wasn't good and the team wasn't a good team. He was being honest, which is his job, to be objective, not to be biased, right? Oh, he didn't say that Michael Jordan was just a horrible GM. He could have said that because a lot of people say that. He just said the team is bad. They not doing good, right? And he like, yo, like this is not a good team. They trash. Right? And Mike needs to get some people around him to help him develop that squad. And it was the truth, right? And for all this, how mental tough he is and how much of a stone cold killer he is and how much of a dog and an alpha male Michael Jeffrey Jordan is, he could not take constructive criticism. He's so damn mad, such a sore loser that he mad because his team losing and his friend discussed that his team was losing as his job. He's so mad at that he don't want to speak to his friend. That's lame. That's weak. That let me know Michael Jordan want to be surrounded by yes men who will just say, agree with everything he says and everything he does and be cool with it. And Isiah like, nah, I mean, and Charles Barkley like, no, I can't be that. I have a job to do. I'm going to perform my job. Although I'm sure he misses Michael Jordan as his friend. He's like, yo, I ain't going to take back what I said. I meant what I said. That team wasn't good. Mike needed help. He need help running that squad because they not winning. And to this day, they still not in a winning position now. So let me know who was wrong, Mike or Charles Barkley. I hope I didn't say Scottie Pippen. Scottie was in my mind. But anyway, yeah, but for all this, Isiah get called a sore loser. Mike a sore loser for that shit right there. But I don't like how Zeke is villainized. No, everybody, Zeke been a stand-up dude, a community dude. I never heard none of them players talk bad about Zeke at all. Zeke helping dudes out, young dudes in the league, convincing, telling young KG, hey, man, you got what it take to go straight to the NBA. You can skip college. You got what it take, bro. You out here doing your thing. You balling, instilling a confidence in a young Kevin Garnett after he spent 1 year in Chicago playing at Farragut Academy on the West Side, right? But I don't know. I don't like how Zeke gets trashed and gets a bad rep and all that stuff. You're like, yo, I was showing love to Mike, and look what happened in return, man. Clowned out shit, man. I don't like it at all, man. But yeah, after you watch that interview on the Pivot Podcast, you will see Isiah Thomas is a solid brother if I ain't never seen one. Machiavelli Mills TV, Chicago, Illinois, forever, forever. And Zeke is real Chicago, Illinois, to the bone gristle. I'm out. Peace.